Okay guys, so going to be going over this workflow. Again, it's not its final iteration, but it's what we have right now. So right now, I have conditions call completed. So essentially, we're gonna say, hey, trigger this workflow if call status completed. Okay, and so the call status completed is right here, and we're saying that that any call that's considered completed, come to the yes. Okay. Then once that happens, we want to. So I've created a custom value, Google Analytics, and then I'm calling this the event category calls action completed, and then the event value is the cost the customer enters. So save, and okay. Well, so here's what we need to do. Once we set up a Google Analytics event here, we need to actually go to Google Analytics and set a goal here as well. I'm assuming a lot of things. I'm assuming that you already have Google Analytics and Google Ads, at the same. So yeah, you would come into the admin and then click in. So yeah, the goal setting right here. So if I do cancel, yeah. So new goals, custom, continue. Now, what's really important, the name here needs to. Oh well, okay. So that is okay. So here, the name is going to be important when we set up the Google Ads conversions in ads. So here we'll just call this calls completed, then event, next, and these are the names that needs to match exactly what we have here. And make sure there's there is no spaces, because that will mess things up. So the categories calls, the event action is completed. Okay, I'm going to leave the label and the value as blank. Here, you can create a label, like maybe call it calls, or anything that you want, like calls completed, and it just helps you to organize your conversions. Okay, so yeah. So once we have this, hit save, and now, okay, so that's done. Okay, then we're saying here is that if the condition contains, let's see, I said campaign ID, is not empty, or the gclid is not empty, then we want to send this to save. So we're going to get those values in Google Ads. Then we want to send this to Google Ads now. Okay. So this is where this is going to come important. We're going to create a new conversion here, and it's going to be import from other, and we're going to do clicks, and then continue. Okay, so now the conversion name here needs to match exactly what we intend to use here. So I'll just use HC phone calls. You can name whatever you want, but just make sure that the name matches exactly. There's no spaces. Okay, and then here I'm going to enter just a value that I know that, you know, how many clicks it takes to lead into one sale, how much it's worth. However, ideally, you know, we should have the value that's the actual value of the sale. Okay, so save here. Then, so if that actual value is not sent, then we'll just use 65. I mean, for my purposes, the client that I'm working with, regardless of how many time they call, fill out the form, it's considered one. I personally like the first click attribute. You can read more about them, and maybe to your situation, you know, one of these will be appropriate, but this is what I like. Okay, create and continue. So now, okay. So we're done here. Now we're gonna, so if it's not a call status completed, we're saying did someone fill out a form, right? So work trigger is form submitted. Okay, so let's go into the form submitted trigger. Okay, so form CRM, form submitted, and so this client only has one form, but so say form is this, and then save. So if anyone fills out that form, we want to, you know, have this go. So again, condition. So if it is, we want to send that to Google Analytics. And here it's forms and submit it. So I'm going to just copy, and then already have this. So let me go into Analytics, and we'll create a new goal. And essentially, it's going to be the same process over and over. Okay, so right now, forms and then submitted. So exactly, okay, save, there we go. Now let's go into, we're going to do a new conversion, and essentially we want to, again, send those, so if someone fills out a form, we just want to send it to Google Analytics regardless, but if they came from Google Ads, then we want to send them as conversion to Google Ads. So we'll do campaign ID is not empty, and then gclid is not, contact gclid is not empty. Okay, save. And here, yep, we're going to do other, and so here, submit lead form. Okay, so we will go through that process. This is if you this is to track the calls on your ads, or GMB ad extension. But we're doing clicks. Okay, conversion name needs to be that. If no value is sent, we just want to for my case to be 65, 1. Okay. A lot of clicking, which I'm not a fan of. I'm sure there's, you know, if we had, I know Google Ads has API. Go HighLevel has an API. You know, if you're doing this, yeah, so like constantly every single day for new clients and yet hundreds and thousands, then yeah, definitely worth investing in API development, because yeah, you don't want to be doing this over and over. It's repetitive, but I'm doing it here. Hopefully someone will benefit from it, perhaps. Okay, so form submitted. Yep, is not empty, got that. Yep, submit lead form. Yep, submit lead form, cool. Okay. Always save, you know, because if something happens, then it just means that that previous action didn't happen. Okay, so now we want to say if someone, you know, if the work trigger flows call status must call. Let's go here. Call status must call, and we want to say, hey, a call duration incoming. If they're busy, cancel voicemail, no answer. You know, count it as a missed call. Okay, so that looks good. Then come here. Yep. So now we're gonna do the same thing. Create a new goal. Custom event. Gotta give it a name. Missed calls. Events. Continue. Okay. So it's calls. Called. Missed calls. Okay. So calls, called, and miscalled. Okay. So then save. And yeah, and also this is assuming that you've already connected your Google's account with HighLevel, and that's very easy. If you go to like dashboard, you know, and just with a click of a button, authenticate yourself, and you're done. Okay, so we got that. Now we need to say if campaign ID. And the contact gclid is not empty. Then we want to do that. Okay. Save. Okay, so now we'll do a new conversion and just make sure. Missed call. Okay, import. Okay, so missed calls. We're gonna come into here and just say, hey, other, and this is gonna be missed false. Yep. Let's see. I wanna see if I can. I wanna stay with the convention. HC. Missed calls. Now I need to. Save. Okay, and then come back here and then do the same thing. Okay. So our next condition is if it's coming from the chat widget. And the chat widget, there it is. We just want to make sure everything is correct. Customer reply channel, chat widget. Okay. So same thing. New goal, custom. Oh, and then always make sure to remove the space. Okay, so it's okay, chat widget and send message. Okay. Chat widget is the category, and then okay, so no spaces. Okay, good. Save. Okay, let's come here and then do the same thing. So I already have that here, so save. Okay, now what we're gonna do if it's okay. Here we're gonna do other and yeah, make sure there's no space whatsoever because that will invalidate the conversion. Okay, so we've done the chat widget. Now GMB. Cool, let's check out the let me just okay. Here, I want to change the name of this as well, as it's and then we have to update submit lead form. Okay. So form. Okay, so we did and then GMB. Yep. So now we can do the So customer replied, CRM reply channel, GMB messaging. Okay, so we got that. Again, we're gonna and then I'm gonna put here event label GMB chat. So new goal, custom, continue. We'll just call it GMB chat event, and so chat messaged GMB chat. So chat messaged GMB chat. Okay, chat messaged GMB chat. Okay, save here, up there, and then again we're going to be stating that as a campaign ID or contact gclid if it's not empty, because the workflow automation, we're going to grab, well, through the conversion tracking, we're going to be able to grab the campaign ID and the gclid, which will transfer to the contact gclid custom field. Okay, so save. So we will do new conversion, same thing. Continue. So I will name this HC. Paste that here. New value. And then one first click. Done. So okay, save here. Okay. Now this the extension number that appears below your or next to your ad, your Google Ads. So I want to just make sure that we're using the correct number. So I will go to the Google Ads extension, call duration incoming, in phone number, and that's going to be cancel, and I'm gonna okay, saved everything. I'm gonna refresh to see if it picks up the new numbers that I created. Let's see if it does. Yeah, there we go. So Google, this is the number that I'm using for Google Ads extension. So save trigger, save here, come down, and if it is, then we want to send it to Google, and let's see what event do I. So calls, called, and then event label. I will give it. GA Google Ads extension EXT. Okay, so calls, called, GADS next. Okay, so new goal, custom GADS. Okay, event, continue. Again, it's calls called. And then GADS EXT number. Oh, I didn't use, so EXT, we're going to, there we go. Yeah, these category action events needs to be exactly what you're using in here. So that's, we got that, save, then save this. Now, I've done this for another client, and one thing I've noticed is that if someone calls from a Google Ads extension number, or a number that is in Google My Business, you know, for ads, that because it's not associated with the GCLID, you can't send it to Google Ads. However, Google Ads provides a hosted means to track those phone calls. So we'll be using that. So here, let's just kind of go. Okay, so when is so we got that. Here we're not going to send it to Google Ads just because it's not going to accept it because it won't have a GCLID associated with it. So I'm just deleting it. There is a way to, yeah, so we'll just leave this here. If it's coming from there, we just want to at least send it to Google Analytics. Okay, so if it's coming from, yeah, this is the condition. Yeah, so here, what I have is the GMB number, and this. Okay, so let me go up here. GMB. So this is a number that we have on their GMB profile. So we just want to, track it. So here, go in here, and then Addison Limos GMB. Save. Okay, so chat widget GMB number. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's the work trigger flow that we set up, it's coming from GMB number, then we want to send that to Google Analytics, and I'm gonna call this category calls. They called the action that they took, and then this will be just GMB profile. Okay, so calls call GMB profile. So new goal, just call it GMB profile event new. So calls called, and then okay, and then hit save. Oh, just make sure there's no spaces. Okay, we'll do this. Yeah, we're not gonna send that to Google Ads because this number, when you call it, it's not gonna have a gclid associated with it. So I'm gonna delete this because we don't need it. Let me see what I'm deleting. Okay, so I'm gonna refresh. Okay. Oh, so here in GMB, so let's delete. We're gonna delete all. That means it's going to delete the yes branch and the no branch under that condition. Okay. Save here. Now we're saying if it's coming from the Google Ads extension right here, GMB. So if you have your account set up in a certain way, that then you can have your tracking number appear in your GMB profile listing. Okay, incoming, and then in phone number that I have for that is Google Ads GMB location extension. Okay, so save that. If it's yes, then of course, let's send it to calls called, and then we'll say this is GMB. Let's start with Google Ads, Google My Business, calls. Okay. New goal, custom. Let's call it. Okay. Event, continue, calls. They called, action that they took, and we'll just label it as Google Ads and then GMB calls. The label. Okay, save this. Okay, and then again, we're not gonna send this to Google Ads. It'll be rejected because it does not have a. When you call that number, Google will be able to pick it up. There is a way to manually upload the data from Go HighLevel into Google Ads for these, but I'm going to be testing, checking to make sure that the calls from Go HighLevel that are originating from the Google Ads extension or the Google Ads GMB ads extension, and if they match, then we don't need to manually upload that. Okay, so now, here's what we are tracking in. Well, okay, so here's what we're tracking in analytics, Google Analytics. So the calls that are, so people who call that are completed, regardless of where they're coming from. Then the chat widget, forms submitted, and then we want to know, hey, are any calls coming from the extension numbers, the number that appears in a Google My Business listing as a result of a paid ad, GMB chat, and let look into this message. Cancelled. I don't know why I have. Okay, so. Oh yeah. So yeah, GMB profile is a number that is on their profile. So we just want to know if someone calls that number. You know, we want to see how many people they call. Now, some of these are going to be duplicates. For instance, if they call that GMB profile number, but so it's going to be counted here and calls completed as well. So, but over time, I'm going to be looking over this, making sure that fine-tuning it. But my first priority is just making sure everything's kind of working. It's pointless to fine-tune if data is not flowing through. Okay, and then in Google Ads, so we want to say, hey, if someone comes in from the chat widget, you know, as a result of Google Ads, we want that, and then requested. Okay. GMB request Google My Business request code. GMS call form, lead form. Where is? Which just would tell me when GMB request quote. Just want to make sure everything I got is up correctly. Okay. Okay. HC GMB. I want to rename this conversion to make more sense because yeah, so I'm going to name it decline GMB chat. So Google Ads, Google My Business, and then I know it's chat. Okay, so save. And then okay. and save. Okay, so the chat widget is one. I'm gonna update this, the name, to match what we have in Go HighLevel. There we go. Save. And then, okay. So chat widget, Google My Business, missed calls. These are phone calls, and then this someone fills out a form, and then here is the calls from Google Ads. Now, one thing I'm going to do now is create a custom goals, which just makes some. Let me add. So we'll call this HC Google Ads conversions. Okay, so I want to add calls from ad, which is here. This is Google hosted. Yep. So I want to add all of these because so if it's going to be counted here, it has to have a G-CLID. That means someone clicked on Google paid ads. So we want our ads to be what do you call it? We want our ads to be optimized for leads. Now, ideally, what should happen is only send the conversions that ends in a sale. However, this current client, they're not filling out the necessary forms, the data in order to do that. They're not bought into. I don't know. I have no idea what they're thinking. But so this is the best that I can do right now. Okay, so this is published. Now the next thing is just kind of wait, and give it a few days, make sure everything's working as it should. And so last thing we need to do is I'm gonna press GC, and that's gonna take me to the campaigns, right? And what I want to do is add that custom goal that we created to the campaigns that I have. So click that, edit, and then update conversion goals. So we're going to use what we created. Did it not? Here, let me. Yeah. So HC GADS conversion. That is what we want to add to these campaigns. And sometimes you have to do like Control-R to just refresh. Yep, there it is. So HC gets conversion, 6 conversions, actions that we created, save, and then preview, see what's gonna look like. Okay. So apply. Okay, so that is that. I used to use CallRail, and I had it fine-tuned in the sense I was able to tell you exactly, the calls that came from paid ads, non-paid ads, organic, which channels. If someone had called multiple times, fill out a form, they would be only counted as once. But when I heard of HighLevel and all that it offered, now of course, setting up conversions with HighLevel, it's more involved, but that's good because it gives you more flexibility, and your imagination is the only limitation. Yeah, so that is it. That we are. So one thing I did. Okay, so. Yeah, we. There is one thing I want to do. Incoming. Yeah, okay, so let me see if I want to create a new trigger or add this. So, call this. So the pool, so these numbers will show if someone clicks on an ad. So that should be picked up by here if it's completed, okay? Okay, so calls completed, send it to analytics. Now it's not that. Okay, so condition is includes that or. Let's add a or. No, yeah, or. See if we can do that. Or trigger workflow is. Yeah, okay, so that's nice. Because, if you call this number, that means you clicked on the ad, you're on the website, you're given a unique number that you call, and that person usually will have a G-CLID. Because what I found out is if a conversion does not have a G-CLID, then it's not going to send. Now, why do I have campaign ID or G-CLID? Because if I get the campaign ID, I'm giving the G-CLID. So yeah. Now I could remove that and just have this, but yeah. Okay. So that forms a missed call. Okay, again, so I want to add an or saying if the workflow trigger is Addison pool. Yep. Save. Yeah, calls Addison pool. Yeah, so yeah, I don't need to create a new branch, because if it's missed, it's gonna get caught, and if it's completed, it's gonna get caught. So yeah, that's that. What else do I need to think about? So everything's saved. Yeah, give me a second. Okay, so Andrew, bad ID. Yeah, and this depends. So, like, you get this info based on the way you have the conversion tracking set up in Google Ads. Yeah, so this is part of it. Okay, so I think I'm done and for this account, and we'll just see what's happening.